Great. So the next sort of set of areas we looked at, we wanted to survey across study areas. And there's so much more to dive into in the report, and we'll share that with you later as a link so you can read through some of it yourselves. But I wanted to highlight STEM. So in healthcare, there's obviously, and STEM subjects, there are a lot of complex materials covered. And especially for students with disabilities, I think it can be really hard to keep up with the volume of technical information. So the shared sort of theme that came out of our findings was that Genio Notes was helping students to understand exactly what was said about complex material, and that it's a tool that bridges the gap between fast-paced technical lectures and deep understanding. So you can review technical audio, you can replay professor explanations, review key concepts, listen while reviewing slides, and find specific information. But I also want to call out some more features just quickly. We won't dive into all of these in loads of depth. You might have seen this already, but we've really been working to make our STEM support extra robust, and we have a few new features actually that are so new I can't even get you slides on, but I'll talk about them. But first of all, so we've got photo import, so you can import diagrams, graphs, equation formulas, and formula and equations in Outline and QuizMe, so you can quickly find key equations and formulas and test your knowledge. And then we have equation support in, we've already talked about Outline, but we also have it in transcripts now, which is pretty unique. So we actually now have formula support for equations in transcripts. So learners can now access a new note type called Add Formula, where they can insert a LaTeX formatted note into their event. And I think it's next slide, Anisha, and then I'll jump back to speaker diarization. Thank you. And so these notes are added in a new window where students can insert and preview equations before adding them to the event. But yes, they do now show up in transcripts. And then with print transcript, they can also print them out and they will have those equations in there. As you will have just seen on the last slide, we have speaker diarization, which automatically separates and labels each speaker. So that makes it quite clear which content's been provided by the lecturer versus other speakers, so they know which material to focus on. And then finally, you'll probably already know about this, but scribble and slide annotations as well. So adding handwritten drawings, formula and graphs to help explain and capture content, drawing on your slides and adding highlights. So the latest addition to our features, which only went live this week, is OCR. So now you can take a picture of whatever's on the whiteboard in front of you or whatever's in front of you, and that will translate it into text. So I will also try and add a slide in before we send this slide deck out to you all, so that you've actually got some more information than me just talking about it. But that went live this week. So apologies for the lack of information, but that is now a feature. And Maura, I've seen you've asked in the chat, and yes, you will get a copy of the slides. So we'll just have a little video to hear from one of our learners next.
I found it difficult sometimes to understand what lecturers are saying, and having Glean in the transcripts feature has been really helpful in order to help me go back through my notes, particularly in a really content and specific subject such as microbiology that I study now. It felt like I spent the first few years of my degree not really knowing how to make notes properly, and Glean really filled it and served such a clear purpose.
When I first started using Glean, I wanted to retain information better in my classes, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to miss out on any course content. Also, I like the interface and the ability to insert definition slides and screenshots directly into my notes, which is very helpful because I can't do that in a notebook.
As a biomed student, I have a lot of content to get through. Genio has helped me to level up my lecture game with timestamp notes so that I can easily navigate the audio, as well as AI features such as QuizMe that's great for a post-lecture reflection.